Welcome to the Daily Dish with Leanne Ely. This is a show about you, your life, and the vibrancy you want. Join us for daily motivation, wise women's tips, and more as we collectively gather together and move the needle in our lives, heart, mind, body, and soul. Now, here is your host, Leanne Ely, and the Daily Dish.
And the Daily Dish. Are you ready? There's my girl Flynn for FriYAY, and Francesca and Jackie in the house. Good to see you. Doris, hello. Amber's here. Jenny's here. Sherry's here from Texas. Nice to see you, Sherry. Thanks for popping on by. Doris is from Texas too. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. It's Q&A. That you know what that means. That means your questions are here. I got your answers too. I got them all right here. Gee, I think I have them all. Hi, Carla. Good to see you. Nancy's here. Yep. I think we have all of this. Anyway, I've got some, I think we always get good questions. And I think today, though, we're going to really, we're going to have some stuff that you're probably going to ask questions on. So that's what we do. You know, of course, that our supplement of the week isn't supplement at all. It is our skincare. We have our Wise Women skincare right here, soon to be full bloom skincare. And this is the trio that we have. It's the eye, neck, and lip cream. This is what it looks like, or this is what it looks like. And it's also the deep moisture cream and this incredible serum. I love this deep moisture serum. It goes, the thing about this stuff is it's so small and tiny. It gets right in and goes really deep. That's what we like about that. But anyway, you use a lot of this during the winter, let me tell you. And that's why if you buy the trio, which is a good price anyway, you're going to get an extra bottle of this fabulous serum, which, believe me, you're going to want. So check it out at savingdinner.com/show. Lynn, hello. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Kathy, you too. And Deborah, nice to see you. The other thing that I have to tell you is we start our very last sprint of 2021 on Monday. Are you ready? Pinkies up if you're participating, and pinkies up too if you're going full on. I'll tell you what, I think after Thanksgiving and wedding and all the rest of it, man, do I need this sprint. I am looking forward to it. So Lucy's here. Glad you're here, Lucy. Listen, you've got to go check it out. Go to savingdinner.com/sprint. That's where you pick up your guide. There's a food diary. There are all kinds of freebies and giveaways and what have you. But there's also the webinar, which I strongly encourage you to watch because it'll help you to understand why the heck you're doing this in the first place, right? Don't you like that? I like that so much. There's my girl, Alice. I'm so glad. I'm liking all these pinkies going up, by the way, because I know what that means. It means you're going to be participating in this showdown. Oh, I don't know why I'm all snotty, but I am. Snotty's not the word, but Rennie knows. Michelle, hello. Ready. She's ready. She's listening at work and she's ready to do it. That's so cool. I'm glad you're ready to do it. Yeah, I think we all want to look at this last sprint as how can I do it better than I did at the time before? How can I really take this all the way? It's going to make a difference. I promise you it's going to make a difference. Hello there, Margot. Couple of things we've got. Listen, if you're waiting on a Bonanza or a Black Friday box, do not fret. Do not worry. We've got you covered. If you have any questions, you're looking for your tracking orders or whatever, we have a ton. You did it again. You completely, we were ready. We were prepared, but you blew us away as you do, which I'm so grateful for. Thank you so much. But do definitely send in an email to support@savingdinner.com if you have any question whatsoever about your order. Deal? That way we can take good care of you. I want to make sure that you know that we've got your back, but we can't if you don't tell us. And the proper channel, of course, is an email to customer service. We don't do customer service over chat or on Facebook. Okay? That's the deal. I think that makes sense, right? Hello, Martha. Look at Martha's here. So I'm just telling you about that. The other thing that I wanted to let you know, besides all of this, is that we have, just mark this date down, okay? Saturday, January 8th. If you're ready to set up for an amazing 2022, we're doing an all-day workshop. I'm going to tell you more about that. All the details are coming, so stay tuned. But let me tell you something. If you want your 2022 to rock, you're going to want to be there. One of the things that we're going to really spend some time on is habit loops and creating habits that 100% serve you. Okay, so save the date. Absolutely, save the date. I think that's a fair thing, right? Fair thing to put that out there on the calendar, and which reminds me, I need to order a new one. And I would also say, any of you who have ordered Take Back Your Life journals in advance, smart move, because you're going to be ahead of the game if you do. All right, we have questions. What else? Oh, all the social media, you can find us anywhere. TikTok, Instagram, name that too. Facebook, of course. YouTube, of course. And Pinterest. We've got a really fabulous Pinterest board. So double check on that. It's really fantastic. And the last thing I'm going to tell you about, well, besides the Friday, if you have questions for next Friday, send them in now. support@savingdinner.com. Question for Leanne on Friday goes right there in the subject line. That's how you get this question on this day. Got it? I also want to invite you to our exclusive text-only sales list. Really, this is what this is. We're going to tell you about all the exciting stuff. If you send a text message that says join to this phone number, 855-960-3720. So just pop up a text message like you would normally. Put that number, 855-960-3720, into that phone number area, and then write the word join in the message. That's it. And we will do the rest. I'm just saying this. I'm just heads up. Those of you who are on that list are going to be really excited that you're on that list. You got me? You're going to be really excited that you're on that list. It's going to be like the bonanza or the gala all the time. That's it. We have special exclusive stuff for text only. So get on that list. Our quote of the week. Look at this. You can start out with nothing, and out of nothing and out of no way, a way will be made. That just lights me up. I love quotes like this because you know what? Truth. 100% truth. If you look for a way, you will find a way. Thank you, Diana Nyad, by the way. And I will talk about Diana Nyad till my dying days, because that woman inspired the heck out of me. I mean, right now she's like, I believe she's in her 70s, but 64 at the time, doing the pretty much impossible according to everyone else. Just sheer grit. That woman's, look up grit in the dictionary. You're going to see Diana Nyad's picture. That's what you're going to see. Shall we get to the questions? Are you ready for that? Did I tell you everything? I mean, there's 100 things. Inner circle, if you want details on that and how to get on board with that, we're going to be starting again in the new year. That's savingdinner.com/circle. And we'll leave it there. How's that? Just leave it there. Check it out. I mean, if it interests you, this is one level up, and the women that are part of Inner Circle, oh my gosh, they just light me up. So that's where you get on the wait list. It's also where you see all the benefits on being a part of Inner Circle. And for all of you who are on Inner Circle right now, my strong suggestion, you want to stay in there and you want to stay with your friends and hang out and still have those conversations, is think about re-upping for next time. Okay? Just letting you know. And now I'm going to get right on board here with our questions. Let's go. This first one's from Wendy Todd. Should carb cutter be taken daily or just when an indulgence is planned? Wendy, it's when an indulgence is planned. I wouldn't take it daily. You don't need to. This is specific to carbohydrates. So, for example, if it's a non-sprint week and I'm having a steak with a baked potato, I always take carb cutter. 15 minutes before your meal, you're fine. It just helps with what it does is it throttles the absorption of the carbohydrates. So instead of being absorbed, what it does is it goes right out of your system. So it doesn't get absorbed and made into glycogen and stored in your liver and cause, all of that. It doesn't do that. Instead just goes into your body and you digest it like you would normally, but without the carbohydrate slash sugar impact. Understand? I hope that makes sense to you. But no, don't take it. And also remember, when we say an indulgence, I'm talking about a small baked potato, or I'm talking about a small portion. I'm not talking about strapping on the feed bag here, because there's nothing there. There is no supplement or carb cutter or anything else like that that's going to save you from just full on binge. Okay, so just keep that in mind. It just helps you out. So if you are, say you decided to go out to a restaurant and you had, appetizers with deep fried this, deep fried that, and then you had like a big garlic bread and spaghetti, and then you had cheesecake for dessert, and some silly sweet goofy drink that has 700 calories per cocktail. You should look up cocktail calories. It's ridiculous. All of that, there's not enough carb cutter in this world to help you with that. So just remember, an indulgence would be a serving of carbohydrate or sweet, a serving. So, if you're making sugar cookies with the grandkids, 2 sugar cookies. If you are, having a potato or a small serving of pasta, just remember, it's not a miracle maker. It is carb cutter for a small portion of carbs. Okay. I'm just going to keep that on. How long before bedtime should sleepies be taken? Okay, so I play with this all the time. Last night we went to bed. We went to bed late, but we've been sleeping seriously between 8 and 9 hours every single night for the last night, especially after everybody left, just because just getting back to your normal routine and what have you. And sometimes I've found that if I take my sleepies like half hour before bed, boy, when I hit the pillow, I'm done. I'm ready. I mean, even if I'm tired, that will happen too. But especially, I find sleepies also helps me to stay asleep, which I really appreciate, because I used to be one of these people who woke up every 3 hours or something and had to go to the bathroom, which is really a pain in the neck. Not anymore with sleepies. So I say at least I would go 10 minutes or 15 minutes or even a half hour before bed to do the sleepies. And this is the one time I will say to you, don't drink a full glass of water with your supplements. You don't want that water then keeping you up too. Just a couple of sips just to get it down. Hi, Lisa. And Helen's here too. Great. Catherine said, I'm using chia seeds and flax seeds for the omega-3s in my diet. Is that a good choice? Absolutely, because you're getting omega-3 fatty acids, and you're also getting some really serious good fiber there. Strong suggestion that you also add fish into the equation. Add fish, especially salmon, especially sardines. Let's just say this. We have to be thinking in terms of fish. And especially omega-3 fatty acids. We're not getting enough. None of us are. So let's look toward getting more omega-3 fatty acids in it. We don't have a problem with 6s and 9s. We don't. We find those in vegetable oils and what have you. We don't have a problem with that. What we do have a problem with is getting those omega-3 fatty acids in. So I do the same thing. I do chia seeds. I do flaxseed. The flaxseed is in my fiber mender that I do. And then I also add in, we do salmon at least once a week, and it's in other fish too. It just happens to be very rich in salmon, wild salmon, of course. And there is my girl, Angie, Maria, and Karen, and Carol. Hello. Terry asks, I know I should take leptofix in an empty stomach, but should I take my Synthroid at least half an hour prior? It's not going to affect it even if you take it all at the same time. What you need to make sure that you're doing is that you keep it on an empty stomach. I take my SAMe and leptofix on an empty stomach every single morning when I'm making my coffee. But I usually wake up between 4:30 and 5 every morning just to go, run and go potty like most people. And I have my thyroid sitting out there on my nightstand with a glass of water, so it's always ready, always ready. And that makes a big difference, because it's just, then it has its own time. That's my strong suggestion. If you already wake up, have it ready to go. That's part of your nighttime routine, and putting it together, right, nighttime ritual, to make sure that you get that done. Isn't it nice though to have that done? I remember I had a friend who, she never took her thyroid regularly, and she always felt like crap. And I was like, well, how can you expect anything if you don't take it regularly, right? You got to do it regularly. That's the one thing that I know for sure. Tilapia is, it depends on the tilapia, of course, it does. But tilapia can be mostly, it's pretty trashy fish, Lucy. Is there a way to this is from Tracy. Is there a way to safely color or mark the supplements on y'all's and or ours? The reason I ask, I travel and sometimes can't take my bottles with me. At times they get mixed up or the writing comes off my baggies. Okay, real simple. Here's what you do. Use a freezer quality baggie, okay? Freezer quality. On the freezer quality baggie, Ziploc makes them. There's a little white, there's kind of a weird triangle. Use only a Sharpie to mark it. And you're done. And you're done. So what I do is, if I'm traveling for any period of time, like we're talking about going for Christmas to go up to Syracuse and to see Mark's family. We haven't seen them in a while. At least I haven't. He went up this summer, but I haven't seen them in a while. And so I'm thinking, okay, so what's this going to look like? I could ostensibly put them all in my car, but what a pain in the neck that is, because we're going to drive up and we're going to have the dog too. So I'm thinking the best way for us to do this, honestly, is for me to do it in the Ziploc bags. And I'll just do Mark's, I'll do mine. And then any digestive stuff or whatever that I need, like, carb cut or whatever, I just throw those in my big to-go bag. And I have a big backpack that I carry. It's like an office backpack that you can put your laptop in, and your notebooks and your planners and all the other stuff, and books. And it usually gets very big and weighted and huge, which is fine. But I also, I also have my daily all situated. But I'll probably keep my morning supplements and my evening supplements out separately, and just what I take when I break my fast, because that's the one with the multitude of supplements. I would invite you to do the very same thing. But if you are getting on an airplane, by all means, these Ziploc bags are the best. And what I do is then put it in a big Ziploc bag so that they're not flying out all over the place and they don't accidentally open. Make sure everything's closed and you'll be good to go. But the Sharpie doesn't come off at all, ever. That's why I love Sharpie. And I used to, I use them on freezer bags all the time and hide them in my freezer bag box, because my kids would take off with them and they would last in the freezer too. It's the only one that wouldn't, run and come off. So Sharpie, you're welcome out there. I'm giving you an endorsement. So that's how I would do it. This is a great question from Carlene. She said, what is the next baby step to start with besides what I'm eating? Examples: sleep, hydration, exercise, meditation, or something else. Thanks for everything you're doing. My propensity is to say, just do everything, but I get what you're doing. And first of all, I just want to applaud you, Carlene, for just being really present with your food and being really mindful about what it is that you're eating. The next thing that I would dial in, though, is your sleep, for sure. It's amazing what happens when we're getting adequate sleep. When we're getting adequate sleep, we make better decisions about food, about exercise, about meditation, about what's next. We have a tendency to not just constantly be, oh, I'm just taking it easy here, I'm just chilling out, I just need to, whatever. What I found is well rested equals well prepared. So think of it in those terms, because from your sleep and from getting adequate amount of sleep and from feeling good, it's going to be a whole lot easier to start a meditation practice. It's going to be a whole lot easier to start exercising and making sure that you're properly hydrated. I would add the hydration in here though, because it's so easy to do. It's just something that you would do in the morning is set up your bottles of water according to how much you need. And if you need help with the hydration equation, it's real simple. It's your weight divided by 2 equals how many ounces you're going to need during the day of hydration. Okay, so let's remember what that means. Hydration is any liquid. Yes, that includes coffee, and yes, that includes tea. Yes, that's what the newest and latest research tells us. Even though tea and coffee are slightly diuretic, it still doesn't have enough impact for you to have to double down on which is what like a lot of old nutrition nonsense that people seem to unload a lot of. It's just not true. So here's how that would work. Let's say you have a couple of cups of coffee in the morning and you have a smoothie when you break your fast and all of that. And let's say that adds up to 24 ounces. Let's say you're 150 pounds and you get 75 ounces of hydration every day. You take that 75 ounces and you subtract 24, right? So what is that? 51, right? 51. I'm pretty good. How's that for math? Am I right? Wait a minute. 75. Yeah. 75, 24, 51. No. Yeah, 51. Pretty sad, right? Hi, Carlene. I'm answering your question right now. So 51 ounces is what you're going to need for the day. So if you just went, okay, I've got 3 water bottles or 4 water bottles or 5, whatever, all I have to do is make sure that these water bottles get filled up, and I'm using them during the day for my hot melt mix. I'm using them during the day to make my tea. That's what I do. And at the end of the day, my hydration's done. So easy. It's so easy. We're no longer having to pound great big gobs of water because we're counting in other forms of hydration as well, because they, guess what? Hydrate, right? It's not just about water. And make sure that you're getting your fiber in you. Fiber Mender is fabulous for that. And your electrolytes, because electrolytes also help with hydration, getting that into the cell, not just simply washing your kidneys. Can you guys hear my dog? Can you hear Lincoln? Oh my goodness. He's upstairs. I'm downstairs with the doors closed. He's barking at the mailman. Oh. All right. And Carlene, if you have any more questions about that, and if you feel uncomfortable or whatever, just remember, prioritize your sleep. Prioritize your sleep and the other stuff will come together. Okay? This is from Brenda. She said, I'm taking Carb Cutter, Get Lean, Crave Crusher, and Wise Women's B Complex. Good combo. When it suggests taking more than 1 tablet, and they're capsules, by the way, do you split it up and take the rest of your evening meal, or take all amounts suggested at the break fast meal? Take all amounts suggested at the break fast meal. And the reason why we do that is because that's your dose, so to speak, and you're breaking your fast, you're taking those supplements. And especially like for Crave Crusher, I know there's 4, but for Crave Crusher to work well, and I experimented on myself on this, it doesn't have nearly the impact as when you take the 4. That's why there's 4 there. You got to take all 4. So Crave Crusher, same with Get Lean. I think there's 2. Carb Cutter. And take Carb Cutter when you're eating carbohydrates. Don't take it on a regular basis. If you're eating carbohydrates every meal, go ahead and take it. But if you're not, don't. You don't need to. Okay, just when you've got carbohydrates or sugar present. And we all know that on special occasions, right? This is a safety net. It's not a free pass. Okay, this is from Karen. This is a good question. I was going to do the sprint this month, the first one I've been following since I've been following the migraine anti-vertigo diet. My question is about the avocado and olive oil. If I can't eat those, or MCT oil, or nuts, can I just eliminate them, or should I use something else? Definitely eliminate them. Don't try anything else when we don't know. I don't want to see you go back to where you were. I mean, you have, and I know this because you and I, work together a little, one-on-one. I know where you came from, and what you're doing is just on. It's just on. You've got it. It's under control, and you knew what to do. So I would just do that. The only thing that I would do is, because butter doesn't affect you, I would just maybe put a little extra butter on your veggies, or put a little butter on your steak or whatever it is that you're eating, and just really, enjoy that. I haven't been doing smoothies since I'm following the restricted diet with no foods that have tyramine. For those who don't know, tyramine is basically a byproduct of tyrosine, which is an amino acid. And it's you'll find it mostly in like meat and cheese, for example. And it's from an amino acid, protein. She said, I'm doing eggs and spinach instead, or spinach and another protein, because I'm supposed to limit eggs to 2 or 3 times a week. But will the lack of fat make a difference? It might, but for 7 days, I would say it's going to be fine. I would, like I said, I would go with a little bit of extra butter. Like if you're scrambling your eggs, like throw in, and you usually do just a little bit of butter, just to butter up the pan. I would just get a little lavish on it. That's what I would do. But I want you to stay the course, because there's no way, if nobody wants to go back to vertigo, nobody wants to go back to migraines. And I want you to stay the course and take care of yourself. There you go. I hope that helped, Karen. Oh, he's finally calmed down. This is from Rena. Aren't we supposed to take our digestive enzymes a half an hour or an hour before meals? If so, how can we do this and yet only eat when we're hungry? 15 minutes is adequate. Even 10 minutes is fine. What I do is, like, if I'm out to dinner or whatever, I will take them as soon as I sit down with water. At home, I'll take them just before, as I'm preparing our meal. That's how I do it. But that's adequate. I'm hungry. When I'm making dinner, I'm hungry. So I'm already hungry. I know it's coming. And we can kind of figure out when we're going to be hungry too. I mean, it's not like just suddenly surprise. Maybe it is if you've had hunger issues all over the planet, and you're just like always hungry or never hungry or whatever, and trying to figure out your hunger is a big mystery. Then you do the best that you can with what you got. Harlene's saying, nice doggy. Yeah, I know he sounds pretty crazy, doesn't he? 85 pounds of doggy, 85 pounds of puppy. So that's how we do it. And I think at about 3, so usually for me, it's going to be 4 hours, sometimes 5 before I'll eat. Like last night, I didn't get to yesterday just because of our busy schedule and meetings that I had and everything. I didn't have my first meal until 3:30, or a little bit earlier than that. It was that meeting ended at 3, and then I had another meeting at 4. That's when I had lunch, my first meal. I had a smoothie though, at around 10. So 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. Yeah. See, look how many hours that was. And I was hungry. That was my first meal of the day. I broke my fast with a smoothie. However, you get where I'm going with all of that. But I was hungry, and I had my digestive enzymes right here on my desk, took them right at the end of our call, and then went upstairs and made lunch. It was probably a 15-minute gap. It still works. And remember, you're also taking a good 5 big gulps of water, maybe a full glass of water if you want, if you need to get your hydration in, but that's going to help it really go quickly. What are ways to combat sitting on? I love that you asked me this one, Rena. What are ways to combat sitting on a plane, bus, or subway next to someone who keeps poking us with their elbows? I find when I've spoken up, people get angry. People, I mean, hello, snowflakes. I mean, right? People are just jerks these days. I'll remember what I did when I was on a plane one time, and this little boy behind me, boom, boom, boom with his feet. And I finally just took off my seatbelt, and I turned around and I looked at him and I said, you're having a good time, aren't you? But if you wouldn't mind stopping, kicking me in the back, it's really hard for me. And then I looked at his mom and I just said, can you help me out, Mom? I've had a little boy. I know how this is. And I smiled at her, and we got compliance, right? We got compliance. She actually moved him into the middle seat so Dad could help. I was on a window. I think a smile and a little bit of just like, hey, can we just all get along is always your best bet. But, then again, you don't know what you're dealing with. Somebody could just go off on you or whatever. I would also, if you're on an airplane, ask for a flight attendant's help. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. I've been in those positions, especially the bumping thing. There seems to be like a contest when you get on an airplane. Who's going to get the seat, what do you call it? The elbow rest, the arm rest? Who's going to get them? And I always have a problem with what I'm always grateful for is when Mark and I go and we'll get a middle, we'll get an aisle and an aisle and a window seat. And we always pray because nobody will, unless it's a full flight, nobody wants that middle seat. And we'll always pray that nobody takes that middle seat. If they do, then we'll just say, hey, I'll trade you. Do you want the middle or the aisle? They're always happy to do that. And then what Mark and I do is we put that up and just sit between us. And we, that's how we do it. We put the armrest up and sit between without that. But, you do the best that you can with what you got, and you just be as kind as you can, smile your face off, and just be as loving and sweet as you can. People don't like being confronted. Maybe you just say to you know what? You got great elbows. I know it personally because I've felt them in my side. Can you maybe keep them to yourself and smile? I don't know. I'm not good at elbow keeping dialogue, but I think that's the best that you can do. Very best that you can do. How do you keep your medical records? I've tried to see most of my doctors and get images from the same hospital. And she's saying that Weill Cornell is seriously disorganized. They have all the systems, yada, yada. And she's going through talking about, and I'm not going to read all of this because it's a lot. But she's talking about one specialist here. He's affiliated, but since he's not a Cornell doctor, she isn't obligated to keep the records there and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here's exactly what I do with my medical records. I get paper for all of them because how do you keep them all in one place unless you get a paper copy? It's super old fashioned, but I say to them, can I have a copy of that? And they'll say, sure, it'll be in your portal. And I said, can I have a copy of those before I leave? I'd like a paper copy. Can you print that off for me? They'll print it off for me. And yeah, it'll be in my portal. And yeah, it'll be in this. And I've got a portal here for this and a portal here for that. It'll be all over the place. But I want to keep it all together, just like you're asking, Rena. And so the good old fashioned kind of, here's my Pentaflex folder. Here's my little tab that says Medical Records 2021. And here they all go right inside. That's it. Just done and done. That's how you keep track of everything. And it's especially, as far as your medical records are, as far as they go, I'm telling you what I'm interested in more than any of it is what my blood tests say, because my blood tests tell the story of what's going on with my body. And it gives me a historical record of saying, you remember this? Do you remember how all of this was? Well, now look at it here. Look at it here. This is fantastic. Look how I've gotten better. Yes, Andrea, it is. They are your records and you have full right to them. They like to just throw them in the portal. It's in the portal. You can have it in the portal. It's all digital. And I get it. But you can also ask them. They're right there. So they're transcribing on your record as you're having your time there, and they will give them to you in a paper form if you ask them at the time. That's how I do it, and that's the best way to do it so that you have everything all together. Because you can't put them all in one portal because you got a portal here and a portal there and portals for everything. So that's the best way to do it. My friend in Montreal has... Okay. And there it ends our time together with Q&A. How do you like that? Plain Etiquette Center seat gets both armrests. Who says that? Nancy. That's Plain Etiquette Center? I don't know about that. I will tell you, I have a friend who said that as far as plane etiquette is concerned, that you should never put your seat down for the person in front. And then my question is, why does the seat go down? It doesn't make any sense, because they're asking you to do something that's contrary to what should happen. I will never forget a flight that I was on, American Airlines. This was American Airlines. I was in the middle, in the back somewhere, and the seats, I swear, they got smaller and smaller. I was on my laptop in the middle seat. I had to get this looked up. This was a seat I got bumped from. I was on first class before, and then just because of my miles, and the plane, they had to deboard the plane because there was something wrong with the plane. And so I got the last seat on the plane, and yeah, it was right back there. You could hear the toilets flushing. And I was in the middle typing on my laptop. I was working, and the guy in front of me, he was a very large man too, put his seat back. And not only did he when he put his seat back and he laid back, then it moved even further. And I was seriously like this typing on my on my laptop, and I had to put it away. I couldn't do anything. So, the thing is, airplanes need to do something about what they do. Is they keep taking away seat space, and it just makes it more and more awkward to get smashed in as sardines. What are you going to do? Anyway, that's how Nancy looked it up. Okay, so there it is. Thank you, Nancy. Nancy is our scribe. She looked up what it says. Plane Etiquette Center says middle seat. Yeah, whatever. I know, so little leg room these days. Your knees are in the back of the seat in the front of me before the seat goes back. I know, me too. And I am only, I'm only 5 foot. Well, I'm barely 5'8". More like 5'7.5". But I used to, I have enough room, fortunately, for my knees. But with Mark, he's 6'1". He's uncomfortable. My son is 6'4". He said he always has to put his legs sideways. And that's hard to do when you've got everybody, all squished together. Anyway, enough about that. I hope you all have a very fabulous Friday. And tomorrow is Soulful Saturday. We're going to wrap up our series. We've been talking all this week. What have we been talking about? We've been talking about influence, right? We're going to wrap up the whole series on influence, and then we'll start up again on Monday. How about that? Okay, if you have any questions about anything and you need some support in any way, don't forget you can always reach out in an email to support@savingdinner.com. And if you have a question that is just for me, just put confidential for Leanne. I will see it. I will answer it. I promise you I'll get back to it. Okay? I will see you tomorrow. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Check back for new episodes. If you missed the live show, you can always watch the replay. You can find Saving Dinner on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Until next time, pinkies up.